Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sanjay and Varun. Yes, we have been friends for the past 5 years now. And I like to joke and say, don't ever listen to me for relationship advice, but when it comes to condos, nobody knows more. And with me, you will get both aspects of investing. You'll get the theory, and you'll also get the practical. I'm an avid investor. And the reason I love these things so much is I went through a biblical type of divorce, separation actually with the mother of my kids. And ironically, now we're best friends again, and I'm getting surgery tomorrow, and I'm staying at her house for a few days. So life's full circle. But the reason I love condos is after spending an obscene amount of money over 5 years of fighting, the only thing that kept us still financially viable was our pre-construction investments, because they made us such great, enormous returns. We have been generating on our investments, myself, my colleagues, my clients, close to 300% gross returns on our deposits over the course of the build into the end of year one. That's the occupancy year. Those are 50% plus annualized returns. That's monstrous. And this is not a crypto type of investment, which I believe is going to crash eventually because all the world banks are going to create their own digital currency and outlaw anything else. The writing's on the wall. This is a tangible item that cannot get up and move. It cannot be crashed by one person that's bought too many of them and wants to liquidate, because 2 units per household, right? It can't, at the press of a button, be shorted by a billionaire. It doesn't work like that. And it is a fundamentally in-demand product. We have over 500,000 people coming to Canada every year. 40 to 45% come to the GTA. Now, we're in real estate, we're about to do investment in real estate, math is our friend. That's 200,000 people a year minimum from overseas, 160,000 foreign students every year. Now we're up to 360. We average about 20,000 interprovincially migration, we're at 380. Get my point? We're close to 400,000 new people a year to the GTA. That's massive. Our city was designed for the population of the 60s, our highways and roads for the 60s, our speed limits are from the 70s and an energy crisis, and they're only still so low because it's a revenue generating stream for the government. I'm very anti-government, okay? So keep your guns and let them take care of it. I'm joking. But the reality of the matter is, we cannot modify the current landscape of our city to accommodate the influx of people. Even if this population growth was spread out over 5 years as opposed for yearly, we couldn't do it. We do not have the construction companies nor the infrastructure to build any more than we're building now at close to 50,000 units a year is the record for this year, okay? We can't build more. The government likes to go in front of cameras and lie to everybody, it's called political pandering, and say how they're gonna build 150,000 new houses a year. Where? This isn't China. It takes us 10 years and we can't build a subway. And that's the big joke, but it's a sad reality. What we can do as savvy industry professionals, capitalize on the flaws and the shortcomings of others, our government. Because our government can accommodate this population, I have been preaching since I started real estate close to 12 years ago, because I've always had foresight. That's one of my gifts, and the gift of gap, so I can talk your ear off, okay? My foresight told me that this city is a diamond in the rough. It is about to become appealing.
Center the world, the United Arab Emirates.
Sorry, someone's flying away. So what was eventually going to happen is the rest of the world was going to figure out that Toronto was about to boom. That Toronto was going to go from an adolescent child to a teenager and finally become an adult. And that's the stage we are currently still in for the next couple of years. So what we need to do, as I said, as professionals, capitalize on that. And how do we do that? We know that the increase in density and population will create a need for housing. And because there's no land in the city to build houses, we go to the only viable option, condos. Condos are the necessity, houses in the city are the luxury. And when it comes time to investing, anybody would rather invest in a necessity as opposed to a luxury. Condos do not roller coaster in pricing, they continually rise. Therefore, we can predict appreciation. I couldn't care less about a house 2 hours from the city. I would never make an investment like that. Because as traffic continues to get worse, And the commute currently is an hour and a half from these places where people are going to buy houses, right? And people are commuting to the city. In the next 5 years, it'll go to 2 hours, and then 2.5 hours, then it won't be viable anymore. So I invest here. I invest as far as Hamilton, okay? Hamilton took a big drop, but it's bouncing back. I'll invest up to Vaughan, etc., out in Durham. Those are our regions. We're the GTHA in investment. When it comes to places like Guelph and Waterloo, we're selling some projects. Those are university towns. They match the criteria. The criteria for investing for me is it close to transit? Is it close to an employment hub or university? Because those are our tenants. Is the area up and coming? That's for clients who are buying their first property. If they already have a portfolio, that would have a slash and it would say, is the area established? Because different levels of investors, you should put their money in different places. And finally, would I buy? You should never sell a condo to anybody that you yourself would not put your money in, ever. They have 4 years to drive themselves nuts, and every time they call you, if you're not confident in your presentation, it'll create doubt, they'll have sleepless nights, they won't pay attention to how much money they have. Okay? Our goal in selling condos is to make money in perpetuity. That means forever. If you sell a house to somebody, and for their family, how many times do you think they're gonna move in their life? Uproot their kids, change neighborhoods, have their kids complaining about making new friends, have their wife whining to them, or their husbands. Because nowadays in 23, a lot of men whine a lot too. You guys getting my joke somewhere? But it's true. So. But who's really gonna do that? It's a pain in the ass to move. I hate moving. Not many people wanna move. But if they buy an investment condo, it is very easy to convince them to buy another investment condo, another investment condo, because they're not moving. So one house, you guys have done a great job negotiating that house. Equity will build up. Keep in contact with them. A couple of years later, because you've done comps, you know how much equity they have, get them to pull a HELOC. Rates are temporary. Past 20 years, the cycle of the Bank of Canada means rates are going to come back down to record lows in the next 18 months, right? And I'm all stats. So pull out some money, buy a condo. Now, what happens when that condo is built? As long as someone buys in the first round, and that is the key. I am called First Access Condos because I provide first access. The name is brilliant because it's true. That is when you buy. If you buy later in other rounds, and a lot of agents do this because they do not have first access, they are doing a disservice to their clients and their career and reputation. We are going to see a number of condo closings in the next 12 to 16 months where people went with agents who put them in when it was over 90% sold. And the price had gone up 50, 60, 80, 100,000 from opening day. Because of the drop in volume last year, okay, where condo prices didn't drop, but they stayed stagnant, where houses dropped 20, 25% in some areas, they will not reach a value to make their appraisal. That will never happen to you no matter what happens to our market if you buy in the first round. So when you go through a platinum agent like myself and my colleagues, it is an investment in yourself that you're paying. Don't be greedy. That extra 1% won't make you rich. 1.5%, 2% of times won't make you rich. But making that extra money will hurt your business if people can't close. Because they're going to ask you to assign it. Assignments are difficult. They won't be able to assign it. And you're going to get a really bad reputation from it. So if we do this properly, and the person buys in the first round, within a year after closing, they can refinance and pull equity. They are so happy and ecstatic with the amount of money you've made them on paper that they will use that equity to buy another condo, and you've just done another deal. And if you follow the game plan, this will happen every 5 years. So your one client will generate deals for you every 5 years. Another business model I use. I ask people how many kids they have. If they have 2 young children, I say buy a condo for each kid. Follow the business model. By the time the kids are 20, they'll have 3, 4 condos each. Now, one person has just done 8 deals for you. The potential is limitless. So don't pigeonhole yourself solely in resale. Expand your horizons. This is the future of real estate. The future is in density of condos. Eventually, the vast majority of Toronto will be condos. It's happening. And yes, a lot of us work outside the area and there's still houses, but that's okay. We still need that aspect of business. When you go to the future, focus on that. The reason I got into condos was because I hated going on showings. I hated it. I viewed everything as an investment, so I don't understood why the color of the kitchen made a difference. I really didn't care. I didn't say, in my opinion, who cares? Because I thought, okay, live in this for 2 years, save on capital gains, and buy something else. I felt no ways. I didn't have kids yet, so I'd like, you move every year, every 2 years, great. You probably hate the neighbors anyway. But people aren't like that. So that's why eventually I changed. And then one day, a high school friend of mine called me and he said, what do you know about this condo project? I knew nothing. So I told him, oh, I know everything. Because you fake it till you make it. So I quickly did some research. I took him there with his brother-in-law and his sister, and between the 3 of them, they bought 4 units in an afternoon. So I made the most money I'd ever made in one afternoon. And I went to one place, one showing. So quickly, I realized that this was the way to make money. And then I did some more research, and I checked out on the forecasted immigration tour city. And all of a sudden, there was nothing else that made sense. So I quickly went into this, called every single person I'd ever met in my life, no joke, when I first got a shot at a project. I sold 15 deals my first project. I got a sales center given to me, which had never been done in the city of Toronto before, and I did a $1 million listing New York kind of party. In 2016, on the night of an ice storm, I was skating outside to my car because I was so happy because I still knocked off 5 deals that night. And it was like a don't drive kind of night for me. But how was that done? Nothing fancy, all old school. I teach a trap, and the main thing I teach, because I'm a non-bullshit kind of guy. You're here to make money. That's the most important aspect of your life. None of us are friends. You're here for a reason to learn from me, and I'm obligated to teach you. Okay? What I'm going to teach you is the first year of your pre-con sales, if executed efficiently and diligently, will be the best year of your pre-con sales because you'll have to spend 0 on marketing. I spent close to $500,000 on marketing last year, and the market tanked. I took a hit. CB24 was funny and fun at the time until the market tanked, and I spent $100,000 on 4 commercials for 4 months. Okay? You guys, in your first year pre-con sales, spend 0 because everybody in your database, everybody in your sphere of influence is new to pre-con. They'll give you a chance to talk about it. They haven't been called by my assistant about the past 20 projects. They're new. So I can show you how to capitalize on that. I can show you how to execute that. All you have to do is put in the work. And I believe if you've taken the time from our busy lives to join us here today, it's because you're willing and ready. And that's what we're going to do. Does anybody have any questions before I start talking about my presentation? Fantastic.
Make it easy for you.
Well, you guys, I want you guys to have questions by the end. Take advantage of me being here, right? I apologize for the date change. I tore my bicep playing with my kids a month ago. I went in to see a surgeon on Thursday, and he booked me for surgery tomorrow. So everything happened really, really fast. But I still made time to come today, and I thank you guys for coming as well.
Thank you.
You did? Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to do one of my more condensed presentations. We're going to talk about pre-construction condos intro, pre-construction buying process, and expert insights. Apparently I'm the expert. And an insider look at the hottest projects launching this spring and early summer. This is just a mere glance at what we have launching. We have 14 coming in May. Another 4 announced for June. And then traditionally July, August, we're gone. But I'm hearing a monster in Brampton, the largest master plan community in Toronto history, is coming to Brampton in the summer, and I heard a couple more coming to the summer. So my staff is gonna be sharing everything with the boys sitting behind me. They're gonna be informing you, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how to do everything. Next one, please. Okay, what is pre-construction? First, I'm gonna get a sip. Buying pre-construction is buying real estate as a true investment. And any type of investment involves speculation. You buy something today with the hope that it will be worth more tomorrow. Simple. The purchasing of something before it is even built with the hope that once built, it will have an increase in value. People ask a question, they're gonna ask you, if I'm buying this and why this isn't even built, how is it more expensive than that condo that's already there? And there's a simple answer. Because that condo is gonna start losing value while this one's appreciating. Because the most money anybody makes during pre-construction is during the construction. Because the area around it is appreciating. And new condos appreciate much faster than old condos. So I liquidate everything at 4 years. I have no emotional attachment. My relationships are 2, my condos are 4. Think about it, there's a reason, right? Condos at 4 years, on MLS at 5 years, it goes from new to old. On the MLS. So I didn't make this up. Pre-con is exactly, going back, sorry, pre-con is exactly what it sounds like. It's a condo that has yet to be built. So we buy something today, slightly more expensive than what else is available today, but knowing that in the future it'll be brand new and we'll be the first to own it. Everybody likes new and shiny. It's naturally in us. It's infused in our DNA that we want something new. Okay? Next slide. Why buy pre-construction? The GTHA is the fastest growing metropolitan area in North America with population growth expected to increase by record numbers in the years to come. There's the man. Like I said earlier today, leading up to last year, without COVID was an anomaly and the largest overreaction in human history. And I thought, I'm not even gonna get to what I think was behind it. Okay, I think it was all horseshit. But anyways, without the years of COVID, leading up to COVID, we were the fastest growing metropolitan area in North America, only second to Dallas, Fort Worth. We were averaging 130 to 140,000 people a year. Now with the increase in immigration numbers from the Liberal government, I said earlier, the numbers, 500,000 new immigrants, minimum 40% to Toronto, 200. What we don't hear about is the foreign students. That's 160,000 on any given year to the city. They rent. That's 360, interprovincial 20. So we're close to 400,000 people a year. That is the driving force behind our real estate prices and the demand. Pre-con is speculatory in nature, although it is based on fundamentals, not a shot in the dark. Strong fundamentals of supply and demand. There is no stronger cornerstone in economics. That is why our prices escalate and continuously rise. We cannot build them fast enough. We have never been in a bubble. It's gone past the point of being funny, and it aggravates me when ignorant people talk to us like this. When we hear that, because people will still say in this day and age, and it's usually the people that have the least that have the largest opinion, right? We combat that with facts. So when people talk about a bubble, and say how the bubble burst, has nothing to do with condos. Our condos did not. We are an insulated investment because we are strictly supply and demand. And remember what condos are as opposed to houses? We are a necessity. And always invest in necessities. There will always be a demand for it. Not houses, they are luxuries. Your house you live in with your family, if you can afford one, your investments are something that are a necessity. And you leverage to build a portfolio. Now you can also leverage houses, but I don't invest in pre-con houses for what I told the boys over there. My understanding, a lot of the developers build with your deposits. The majority of the developers that are trustworthy in houses can only acquire enough land to make it feasible, that it's in the middle of nowhere, hours away from anything pertinent, okay? So we don't invest, we invest in needs. And how do we leverage in needs? Well, There's two ways. The first and obvious way is you're only putting down 20% and you're gaining an appreciation on the total amount of 100%. That's leveraging in a nutshell. I put in 20, I'm making money on the 100, okay? But there's something else too. Because of the spread out deposit structure of these, your 20 is not given all at once. Your 20 is spread out. And now as we're in the last few months of 5% a year, the additional percentages that you're holding on to can stay in other genuine revenue generating investment streams. So you're actually doing two investments with one pool of money.
Say it again, sorry.
We have a 20% deposit structure for condos based on CMHC. That's gonna go to 25 probably in the next year or so, because they're saying too many properties are being bought by a small group of people. So they wanna make it more difficult to make it even more exclusive, where even only the rich can do it. So remember, everything our government does makes no sense, right? So we're taking the 20% deposit, but we're not paying the developer all at once.
Correct. Installments.
It's installments. So it's usually 5 at 30, another 5 in the first year to allow financing to be released and they can build. And now we're seeing 5 a year later, 2 years later, another 5 at occupancy. It's really spread out. So if you only give your 5%, you have 15% of the deposit left that can still be invested somewhere else and be generating a profit. Alternatively, if you're using a HELOC, which will become more appealing again by the end of the year when rates come down, you're only paying interest as you withdraw the money. And here's the beauty of it. If that HELOC is being used for an investment property, the interest is also attached to that. But I'm not an accountant, so please discuss with a licensed professional. Next. Why pre-construction? Because it kicks ass and it makes us money. And that's the reality of it. There ain't no money like pre-con money. And that's paraphrased, I think, from New Jack City when he said about something else. But it's the truth. There is no money like pre-con money. When you guys go and try to sell a house, who here doesn't have his clients trying to knock down the commission? Because if you guys do, don't tell me because I'm gonna call them. I guarantee you, some of us have sold stuff for 1%. You're never making 1% on this. You deserve way more. You found the client. I make 1%, maybe 1.5% if I how much work I need to do. But it's a guaranteed 2.5% for you guys. Imagine making 2.5%, 3% guaranteed, and you don't have to go to any showings. Wait for your client who's half an hour late because they don't respect your time because they're doing you a favor by using you. And the reality is they're doing us a favor. There's 70,000 of us. Taller, shorter, better looking, skinnier, younger, older, right? None of us are special. So because our client's doing us a favor, you have to wait for them for hours. There's none of this with pre-con. I will never make you wait in the rain in a lineup. I don't wait in the house. Okay? But that's the truth. That's really the truth. As sales volume decrease, we see an inverse relationship with rents. A slowdown in overall sales in the next few years will cause rents to catapult in the same time frame. By the time the pre-con units come to market, rents will be at levels never before seen. With some of the people over there earlier before the seminar, I was saying what I'm forecasting. Rents in the GTHA have been continuously increasing for the past decade between 6 and 12% given areas. Our drop was during COVID because we didn't have 160,000 foreign students, right? 160,000 people in Canada is a city. But now that they're back, rents went up 25% in some areas within 12 months. The rent of a one-bedroom in downtown Toronto, the prime area, is high 2000s currently. At 10%, if it's at 2,800, that's 3,080. Okay? The year after that, at 10%, is 3,400. Do you see my point? It's over 5,000, 4,000 in the next year.
But I have a question.
I have an answer hopefully. If it's a hard question, don't ask.
No, it's very simple. But don't you think the rent is too high right now? Like, the way the salaries are increasing, the rent is like, it has increased more than that.
So what do you think?
I
What do you
think
think's
that,
gonna happen? Rent's gonna slow down because people can't pay it?
no, my question is like rent is right now very high, like,
I don't think it's high enough. As someone who owns properties, I want it a lot higher.
but,
How about you?
so, like, for me, it's okay, because I'm getting money, okay? But the person who is paying, I'm thinking from my client's perspective, so the rent is on the higher side, the salaries are not increasing that.
I have a solution. Hold that thought.
Okay.
I thought about this when I first started buying condos. I thought about this and I forecasted this. Like I'm telling you, I'm horrible for relationship advice, but when it comes to this stuff, listen to me. Someone, some people just click on certain things. I predicted this. When I was in grade 7, I predicted China was going to take over the world. Based on the fundamentals that are happening, now people thought I was crazy. Okay? Not so crazy anymore. A little bit, but not about that. Okay? So I'll get back to that point very, very soon. Because I love that point. Because that point that you made is the basis of my investment model. Okay? But on the other side of it, not the renters. Prices will not go down. I talked about the immigration, right? Target purchase insulate investors from current interest rate hikes. We buy something today, even if it gets built as soon as possible, and it's a small building, it's 3 years. A lot happens in 3 years. We're going to be hovering around 2 to 3%. Benjamin says it. A lot of people say it. I only listen to a couple people when it comes to real estate. Benjamin is one of them. Okay? We're going to be in the 2s, which is very good interest rates. Resale versus pre-con. The bulk of appreciation with us is earned before it's built. Completely hassle-free, and essentially zero expenses, carrying costs, headaches, while investment is premium. What's the worst thing about owning real estate? Being a landlord. I grew up in a real estate family. Okay, we're wealthy, but being from the old country, my dad knew we needed to buy some stuff, right? The worst thing in this province is being a landlord. The law is stacked a mile high against us. One bad tenant can set you back years on your spreadsheet, okay? Pre-con, we have no tenants. That's the big win off the bat. No property taxes. Even better, they're going up so much this year in the city of Toronto that it actually constitutes a material change and may affect how much rents can be increased. Think about that. No mortgage, no utilities, no insurance. It's hassle-free. All you or your clients do, and when I do this presentation, I'm talking as if you're gonna buy. Because as realtors, everyone should own pre-con. Everyone. If you can afford it, you should always own pre-con as a realtor. And follow my game plan. Because you'll get first access, and if you're buying for yourself, I'll guarantee you a unit. Because I want all of us to do really well, okay? But the worst thing is being a landlord. That's eliminated. All the headaches are eliminated. And the reason it's the best investment is you write out a bunch of checks, you sit back and you wait. But here's the beauty of it. In our city, within the next 6 months, there will be another project comparable to what you just bought in the vicinity. So you can immediately do a price comparison and see how much money you make. This is great for us, and this is great for our clients. Because when a project starts and they buy it, say $1,200 per square foot outside the city. And then another project 6 months later comes out at $1,300 a square foot, you show them the price list. And all of a sudden, you're their best friend. That's how you make friendships in real estate, by making people money. Until it's time to sell their property. Next one. Appreciation is based on total purchase price, while investors only consider 15 to 20%, like I said, leverage. And why I wrote 15% is now with the extended deposit restrictions. When the final 5 is at occupancy, it's as if you're not really putting that payment down. Because you need it only to qualify for a loan. This allows an investor to use one original purchase to buy new units. This is my version of leveraging. Don't leverage one step. Continuously keep leveraging. The reason we make investments is because these 2 hands and these 2 little feet can only do so much work in a day. Although I don't sleep much and I'm a workaholic, I might only knock off 14, 16 hours a day. Because I'm always working if I'm awake. But my money, working for me, works 24 hours a day. Gordon Gekko said money never sleeps. Ever. And I also say money has no passport. I'll sell condos to anybody. Anybody. Any chance I get. And that's what you guys should do. And everything I'm saying, even though it's not scripted, it'll all go into one thing. Remember I told you, when I did my first 15 deals at my first project, I called everybody I ever met. I am shameless. At my uncle's funeral, I put my arm around my aunt, I kissed her on her forehead, and I told her, your house is way too big for you now. Let me help you. And my mom slapped me as a grown man. And then I told her, what's wrong with you? I'm the only one that'll give her a really good deal and work my ass off for her. I'm doing her a favor because she will remember my uncle, and it'll be sad living in that house. Time for our kids to take care. I am the sales, right? There's a meaning behind that madness, right? That shows focus, drive. Timing, I'll argue with anybody that was the perfect time, right? Because I was honest. But if I can do that, you guys can call people you haven't talked to in 5 years. A little bit of small talk. Tell them what a great project you're investing in. You know, you're not sales pitching them. You're just so excited about it. You have to tell them it's new in your life. I'm buying a condo, that's what's new in my life. It's fantastic. You guys should know how to sell. With these guys as your mentors, you must know how to sell because they're great. Let's see my quote. Okay. Leveraging. Get them to buy that one condo. They have the ability to purchase another condo with very little out of pocket, if anything, and it keeps going. It creates income in perpetuity for us. It creates more condos in their portfolio for them. Win-win. Okay, here's some examples of my own projects. When I use examples, I use my own buys. I always pick 2 to use, okay? So then no one can say I'm making this up because I'm the one to deal with this. Okay, forget the fact that I'm getting hammered because I closed this last September and I'm paying 6 points of interest, okay? That's meaningless because I welcome losing money every month because it goes against my personal income and I can take as much write-offs as I can get on my personal, right? So Azura Condos, this is in North York. And for those of you asking, I did buy a parking spot here because I was buying parking spots up until about 3 years ago. And then I backed off. I purchased this unit. It was a 2-bedroom corner unit. I usually don't do corners, but I really like this one and the price difference wasn't significant. So it was justifiable for me to buy what I call a luxury unit in the building because it had a view, right? There's no money for views. There's no money for floors. Right? So when people say, what's the best unit? The one you can buy. I'm really big on this buy in first round or don't buy, and who gives a shit about the floor plan. I'm really big on this. So in April of 2019, this developer builds really fast. I bought 775 square foot 2-bed, which was also a little bigger than I like. At 740, it was 965 a square foot. Down payment of 20 was about 50. Currently resale in the area selling for around 1250 a square foot. Now it has a value of 970, okay? So I made a gain of $221,000. That's 130% gross return of 150 investment in 3 years. So that's a 44% return per annum on my deposits. 44% is big. Come on, right? And you know how much effort I did? My hand was tired from writing 4 checks. Like, seriously. Next one. This was, we go back, this was from 2015 I bought, 2015. I bought this one was ready in 2020, okay? And this was a 5-year, this is an example of a 5-year bond. Okay, and people are gonna tell you, oh, our market's not gonna appreciate like that anymore. I say, you're wrong. I say our market will. I say, we are in a unique situation where last year, we only sold half the new units we were supposed to, which means in 3, 4, 5 years from now, we will only build half the units we were supposed to, further exacerbating the scarcity of a very limited supply, while immigration keeps increasing, okay? 600 square foot, 1+N, the 372, those were the days, at 620 a square foot. The initial downstroke of 20 was 74,004, and currently resale in the area is selling for approximately 1250. Now there's 600 square foot 1+N has a current value of 750,000. 750 minus the purchase price of 372 shows a gross profit of 378,000. That's a 508% gross return on their initial investment of $74,000 in 7 years. That's a 72% return per year. 72% per year gain. Our numbers are so good that people think we're lying to them. People think we're lying to them. Yes, you bought a house. It was built. Your house would have gone up so nicely. It would have. Okay, you forget about the year rent drop. You have carrying costs, you have maintenance, you have possibility of a bad tenant. It'll take a year to get rid of. A lot of variables. Very few in this. Very few. So you guys getting what I mean by this? Our returns are massive. They're epic. Monumental. Find an adjective that fits. Not like anything else in real estate. Here's another thing. Offer to manage your client's properties. It takes a call to the management office. Nothing. And they make 5% of rent a month. Why not? Do extra. So many avenues. Okay? This is the gateway to a new way of generating revenue for you. Sell more units because you don't have to go to showings. Instead of taking one evening spent with one client, showing them 10 properties that they can't afford or aren't willing to bid properly on, bring 10 people to a sales center in an afternoon and meet me. Sit back and let me amaze your clients. Think about that. Sit back, meet me, do multiple deals in a day, and sit there just with a smile. And let me do the talking.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Easy.
Very easy. It's the truth. It's the truth. Don't think yourselves as small. Think big. My 8-year-olds, when I ask them, do you want me to cheer you on and be the loudest parent at soccer and jiu-jitsu? And you know what they said? Yes. I said, does it make you uncomfortable? They said, no. It makes us push harder. And I asked them, will you reach your limits? This was a true question. And they said, we don't have any limits. And they're turning 9. My kids are monsters. Mentally, physically, and they're my greatest accomplishment. Think of yourselves, if 9-year-olds can think like that, you guys damn could too. Only limits we have are what we set for ourselves. Resale sticks you in a box. 2 hands, 2 feet. Limit amount of work in a day. Pre-con takes off those chains. Take advantage of it. Next slide. Extended deposit structure. This is what makes this type of investment really, really appealing. One of the reasons why investors choose pre-construction condos is the deposit structure. They can put down 20% of the value of a condo, but they earn appreciation of 100% of the value of the condo over the next 3 to 5 years. 20% down is average, as I told you, based on CMHC criteria for investors. And caveat emptor, this line for buyer beware. Tell your clients that's going to be going to 25 before you can blink. Okay? The war on the investor and the middle class becoming wealthy in our country is in full swing. Soon you're going to have to be on one side or the other. Help your clients be on that side. Examples of extended deposit structures. Every time we sign a deal, a bank draft's required within 10 days. Now it's almost always 10,000. That's not cashed. There's a 10-day rescission period in the province of Ontario. Use it for legal review, answer your client's questions, blah, blah, blah. Right? But nobody cashes that check for 10 days. So your client should be comfortable with that. That's why I tell people the most important thing is getting you a unit and locking its asset immediately. And then take 10 days to drive me crazy. That's what I tell them. Call me 10 times a day for 10 days, I don't care. But if you take 10 days to think about it, it won't be available. I'm not God, I can't create something out of nothing, right? So that's everything. There's a game plan you have to get your clients ready. There's a company called Center Court. I call them to ask if I can go to sleep, if my clients go to sleep for that. No joke. Call them at midnight. For the first 7 days of sales, I go, Norris. And he laughs and he goes, stay up for another half an hour. Okay. You know why? So I'm gonna make an obscene amount of money in the next 30 minutes on a phone call. And I'm gonna call my client up shamelessly and wake him up out of bed, or her out of bed. And I'm gonna say, do you want the unit you've been asking for? And if they say I'm sleeping, well, that's okay, someone else is awake, and they'll take it. And if people wake up immediately. Seriously. You gotta be ready to work, or you're gonna make money. Balance is always to 5% in 30 days, 2.5 to 90, 2.5 to 180, 2.5 to 70, 2.5 to 720, and 5 on occupancy. I hate this deposit structure, because there's too many checks. But a lot of people, a lot of developers trying to find ways to spread it out, okay? This was an example. This is the more traditional one. Bank drop at signing, 5 to 30, 5 to 180, okay? That's 10% in the first year. This is always paramount. And even if it's 5% a year, it's on the exact year mark of 365. The developer needs that money in their lawyer's trust to release their construction financing, because they build with financing, not yours or your client's money, because those deposits are insured. Next slide. Pre-construction buying process expert insights. I still laugh when people consider me the expert. Okay, 10-step buying process. This holds true for you, it holds true for your clients, okay? And I've basically broken down as like the 10 commandments of how to get a unit. And if you follow this game plan, you will get a unit. And there's something we will go into more depth when we finish the 10 steps, and that's the worksheet. The worksheet is the key to being successful, okay? Register online for a project or area that you or your clients are interested in. Be careful when registering online. It is very difficult to distinguish between developer sites and agent sites. Never register your client's information until you know who is behind the website. Expert, always look at the footer. Our business is very competitive. We have 70,000 people. Many people are in the industry don't share my scruples and morals. If you register your client's info on a site, and a lot of my competitors do this, and you make the mistake of giving your driver's license, they will submit a worksheet without your clients knowing, so that they beat you to it, and then the developer will say they submitted first. And then when your clients find out, I guarantee you there's no loyalty when it comes to getting a unit or not getting a unit. So be very careful. That's why choose one person to work with that you can trust, that your colleagues can trust. And I'm not just pitching myself. It doesn't have to be me. You can work with anybody. I have no lack of work, okay? But it's very important that you work with somebody you can trust. Once you find a project your client's interested in, register for the project and stay up to date. Release of any preliminary info, launch date, etc. If you register with a real platinum agent, and our business is so shady that everybody says they're platinums all the time. And then they'll buy units off me, and then buy it off somebody else. And sometimes there's 4 people in this church, right? So, if you register with me, you will get an estimated price per square foot, you will get sample floor plans, you will get everything available, not just other platinums, but because of my relationships, et cetera, okay, ahead of everybody else. Information is power. And information, the power in our industry is to get to the client first. Because when you inform people first, and then 5 days later they get an email from somebody else with the same info, it seems like you have the in and they don't. Before the project launches, submit a preliminary worksheet based on your client's budget and desired unit size, 1 bed, 2 bed, etc. Submitting a prelim worksheet increases your chances of success exponentially in capital and bold, as you will now be at the front of the line. If you can get your client to send you a picture of a bank draft, then they're golden. We cannot submit worksheets without pictures of bank drafts. Almost always now. You're not. I don't go take bank drafts for my clients. I don't. Because the courier bills, imagine having 30 worksheets with 30 bank drafts and you know you're getting 5 or 6 units. It happens. I don't always get 20. I'm not getting 20 at Carding House. It's only 153 units. So what I do is I get a picture, shows me that they had the initiative and the focus to go get it, and I tell them to hold on to it, and if I need it, I'll come get it. Okay? But get that. But the prelim we're gonna go into, the prelim's the key. Think of the prelim as saving your spot in line. When going somewhere and you have to take a number. When you're first out of the gates, in front of 30 people, and a unit comes up, you get first crack at a unit, or your client gets first crack at a unit. Now, there's always some loyalty in business, but if you're starting to work with somebody, wouldn't you want to be the first as opposed to the last? Once the project launches, you will receive a complete sales package, floor plans, etc. Since you've already submitted a prelim worksheet, all you have to do is submit floor plans. If your client waits to be informed of the project, discuss the project, talk to their significant other, get bad advice from people that know nothing, etc., 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 they will not match the timelines to secure a unit. You will not get paid. Same for you guys. The worst thing people can do is say, I'm gonna wait for it to launch and then I'm gonna let you know. You're too late. When it launches, example, Wednesday night Madamy's launching. If I don't have worksheets in by Thursday night, you're not gonna get a unit. There's just not enough inventory. Madamy's infamous for saying you got till Monday to submit your worksheet, and on Friday I get units. There's a pattern there because their projects are so low priced. This one's $100 a square foot less than everybody in the computer area. Okay, and their deposits are only 10%. But a lot of developers get them in early. This business, this new revenue generating stream for you. Decisions are made in seconds, not hours, not days. Seconds. But how can someone make a decision to spend $500,000, $750,000, $1 million in a second? Because you have brought them to the point of being comfortable to make the decision. The onus relies on us, the real estate professional, to inform these people. And how do we inform them? With information provided by someone like you. Next slide. Wait for allocations from your platinum agent and secure a unit for your client. Done. APS will be sent virtually to your clients. I'm not big on signing in person anymore because there's so many stuff all over the city, but if it has to be done, we can usually do that too, okay? Once fully executed, 10-day cooling off period commences. 10-day is all days, including weekends and holidays. Deliver deposit, bank draft, and post-dated checks. Remember, these are held at the sales center for 10 days and not cash. Have a pre-construction lawyer review the APS. Paramount, number 8. Mathematical number for infinity. It's infinite how important it is to choose a good lawyer who understands pre-construction. Resale lawyers have not all done pre-construction. When a resale lawyer, especially the older ones, okay, look at pre-con contracts, they have no idea what it is. They'll charge their clients way too much money for review. They'll make it up for how complicated it is, and they will ask such ridiculous stupidity from the developer to modify the contract in ways that will never happen, that your clients will get the impression that it's a bad deal. Find a lawyer that specializes in pre-con. I can refer some, okay? Or do what I do for my clients, use my own lawyer, who I actually got to teach the legal aspect at the Toronto Real Estate Board, okay? It's not the most expensive, but no one has ever lost a deal with this guy. He does it properly. 9, pre-approval arranged within the first 30 days. Don't let your clients do this on their own. There is no worse pain in life than walking into a branch that doesn't know how to do these and have your client go back and forth 6, 7, 8 times. It's a clown show. It's like awesome. Okay? Find a mortgage broker. Most of these projects get approvals from mortgage brokers. Work with that mortgage broker. Pay him something under the table if you have to, not to do a scam, but just so that he actually does it for you, because most of these people will never close with this mortgage broker later, right? But get someone to make your life easier, make your client's life easier. The key to this in any sale is to make the buying experience pleasurable. And 10, Wait for the project to build. Those are the 10 steps. Follow them, be successful. Don't deviate it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Simple, basic, down to the point, keys to success here. Next slide.
What do you mean by wait for the project?
Sit back and wait for it to be built. So then you can get the rest of your commission, right? It's all about getting paid. We are not here, you and I, to hang out. Seem like a good guy, you probably think I'm a prick, that's okay. We're here to make money, right? So the focus should always be on the goal. Eye on the prize continuously. Yes, ma'am.
So commission is like issued once the client takes the possession, or when the 20% is done, after that, how?
Commission is usually paid in two of two ways, in two different ways. One is, forget what they say, we never get paid before 8 months, we usually get paid between 8 months and a year. We get 2 installments, the commission spread in half, or it's 3 installments. And the first one is anywhere from 8 to 12 months. And then one when construction ground is 3, one when ground level construction has been achieved, and the final one 45 to 90 days after registration. Okay?
Not every time they pay, not like that.
No, it's one of those two. It's either 50-50
Okay.
or
3 times.
3 times like a third, or it could be slightly modified, right? But that's usually the two paths on that. Here's the worksheet, okay? Carding house. This one should be of interest to you guys where you're located, so that's why I decided to bring it. That's okay. That's like my chair in my room when I'm doing Zoom calls. People drop me down, and I'm short to begin with, and then people lose me, right? The reason I brought up a worksheet is because you guys should be really comfortable. You should be as comfortable with this as you are with floor plans. For those of you that don't know how to read floor plans, sign up when I start asking for them, and I start asking questions, because floor plans is the key to this business. This is the other key, the worksheet. You have your unit choices. How, these are what question is, how can I tell you what kind of unit I want when I haven't seen floor plans? Easy. What's your budget? Oh, my budget's $600,000. Well, this unit is this project is $1,200 a square foot. That means you can afford 500 square feet. Where is this project located? In Toronto proper? Okay, that's a 1+ den. Is this project located in Oakville? Okay, that's a 1 bedroom. So let's put down 1 bedroom as your choice. Do you guys see what I just did? You don't need floor plans. You don't need a price list to tell them what they can afford. You need an estimated price of square foot and a knowledge of what unit sizes are in areas. And you have me for that until you get comfortable. Okay? So we've knocked off the top part. Parking locker, we can say what they dream, but if you're downtown, you're not buying a 3-bed, you're not getting a spot, right? So we can circle those. Investor, end user, that's meaningless to me, I couldn't care. That's just a research thing, it doesn't go to the CRM, okay? Max budget, that's the most important thing on this worksheet. Because when you give me your worksheets, and I get my units, I go based on your max budget. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really look at your unit choices. I don't, because it's not a matter of unit choices. If I get you one of your choices, fantastic. Of course I'm calling you because if it's a done sale, no, that cancels. But I go by max budget. Because a lot of times we get a starting price, we don't get actual prices. So your clients don't really know. So if your budget is $650 and I get a $700,000 unit, I'm not calling you. But if your budget is $650 and I get $670, I'll call you. So it's important that your client is honest with that. Because that decides if they get a call or not. Then all the information is mandatory. SIN can be given at a later time. But what's happening now, a lot of times they'll have to go in and show their SIN card because of the forward buyer rent. And then the rest is straightforward. But the key thing is unit type, max budget, and that's it. That's all we need, a piece of paper showing their intent to purchase in this project. Get these from people. Explain it like I did. It's not a commitment. You're not locking in the contract, but you're getting in front of the line. So if a door is open and you have to get to the other side, why are you waiting to take the first step? Pitch it like that. Next thing. 10 common buying mistakes you should avoid. 100%. Buying where you would live, not seeing investment opportunity. Your clients are not living here. 90% of your business plus will be investors. Get into the investor mindset. You don't like the area? Who cares? Nobody you know lives in the area? Who cares? A bunch of other questions. Who cares? Will the area make you money? Only question that matters. Only question that matters. And how do we know the area is going to make you money? Because I know what's happening in that area. I've known what's going to happen in that area years before they're going to build. I'll do the research for you. My staff does the research for you. Developers are about to spend billions have done the research for us. Take advantage of the tools you have at your fingertips. 9, focus on prices of focusing on prices of previous projects in the area. Remember where I told you, if someone is hyper-focused on the floor plan and they don't get a chance to buy in that building, the next project will be more expensive? That's one of the guarantees in life, okay? And if someone says, well, I'm not buying here, that project was $50,000 less. Yeah, but you didn't buy there. And the next project will be $50,000 more than this one. Do you see a pattern for me? Like, for real. Find a way to, much more polite than I am. I'm not always the most polite guy, okay? But that works for me. But you gotta find a way and modify your approach for every client. Obviously, that's what sales is. Sales is psychology, okay? Be like water, Bruce Lee said that, flow. And that's how you need to explain to these people, if you miss that one and you miss this one, the next one will not only be 50, but 100,000 more. Can you save $100,000 in a year while you wait a year to buy something? And this is also resale. Prices will go up greater than you have the ability to save. The best time to buy real estate was yesterday. And since we sell condos, not time machines, the other best time is now. And that's hyper-focused on trivia details. What are the maintenance fees? I hate that question. Who cares what the maintenance fees are? Everybody else in the building is paying it. People focusing on that location of elevators, except that again, you're not living in it. Pull them away once they start going sideways and put them back on the path. First round access and a purchase in the first round is the only thing that matters. Not purchase because launch date has changed. These projects have a lot of moving parts. And as such, their timelines are meaningless. They come out when they're ready. So sometimes I will tell you guys, we are gonna be ready to sell this thing, picking a date, May 21st. And it ends up selling on June 21st. Tell your clients, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't be discouraged. It is quite normal. Because a good developer won't come to market and start selling till they know their side is secure and ready to go. Projects that cancel, and there's a couple every year, even though the media makes it out to be like hundreds, okay? It's because they started selling too early, and by the time they got their approvals, there were significant changes made and it was no longer viable. So it's better for it to take a little longer and know it's gonna get built. Trying to use resale contacts for pre-con. Lawyer, mortgage broker, etc. Okay? Talk to them about everything I just said. That was the financing one. That was the legal one that I spoke about. And then using an agent. Put yourself as a platinum agent. You can tell them, I'm new to pre-con, but the person I work with, he's top percent in the country. He teaches 70,000 realtors about it. Blah, blah, blah. Say good things about it. Use what I've done to your advantage because we are a team. Next slide. Try to time the real estate market. Nobody can do that. Nobody has a crystal ball. But what we do have statistics and precedents. And that allows us to have foresight. And we use that foresight to estimate the growth that will occur in the next few years, and that's where we're investigating real estate. Failing to provide a true max budget on a worksheet, I expressed what's wrong with that. Not understanding what a preliminary worksheet is, we have to make sure they understand and are comfortable. Waiting for launch day before submitting a worksheet, I touched on that. And then one, the biggest mistake is waiting on a perfect floor plan. Like I said, floor plans don't matter. When you buy matters. Now this is probably the part you guys have been waiting for. This is a small subsection of what we have coming up. This is what we have coming up in the next couple weeks, the start of May. We have even more double coming up the rest of May. We have some big ones coming up in June. So like I said, Primount Place, the largest master plan community in Toronto's history, is coming up Brampton. I have a project right downtown built by a really good friend of mine, Matt Young. He started Republic Developments. That's gonna be a King and Strong. Okay, so I got downtown in June, I got Brampton in June, and I'm gonna have probably a bunch more Durham for sure coming this year. So it'll take some time to get rolling, but don't think, oh no, I'm gonna miss these May projects. I'm still gonna sell over 40, maybe 50 projects this year. And the market is just picking up. Okay? Birchley Park. This just launched last Wednesday, and it's at 411 Victoria Park in Toronto between Gerrard and Danforth. Okay? This is Upper Beaches, kind of, but we're gonna pitch it like that. It is a mini master plan community because there's townhouses and 2 towers. It has a Scandinavian theme, which is really cool because there's a 4-season pool outside, so people can swim in the winter, which is a really cool feature that you can pitch to people. It is conveniently located steps to a subway and walking distance to a GO. It is 15 minutes from downtown, 5 minutes from the beaches, 5 minutes from the bluffs. You get my point? It's kind of like suburban living in the city. It's priced around $12.50, $13 a square foot. It's a great deal, probably the best price you're gonna get close to a subway. Next slide. This has started. This is for people that wanna be in the city on a lower price point. We'll call it like it is, okay? You wanna be in Toronto near a subway, you're gonna be paying, best deal, $12.50 a square foot. You're not getting back. Here shows where it is. It's right here. Beaches, bluffs, subway, GO. Shoot right across Eastern Road and take Eastern into the city. Marquee. We don't do much low rise, but these are stacked towns, and the reason we're doing them is because last year we had 30 interested buyers in Tech Tower, which was probably the most luxurious building ever being built in the KW, in Waterloo. Okay? Those are university tech towns. So it's either you're going to university there, or you're gonna work for one of the largest tech firms in the world that are opening up shop there, and that is basically the Silicon Valley of Canada. That is why Toronto is now ranked the 4th largest tech hub in North America. It's because of the KW, okay? That's what started. So the people going to here are looking for housing, student housing. We don't call it student housing, but it'll create financing difficulties for us in the future. So we omit that aspect, but we all know this is student housing. These are stacked towns, 600 to 650 a square foot, 3 stories, 3 units, and this is what we're gonna be selling, and this is gonna be coming May 3rd, which is on Wednesday. Just showing where it is in proximities and everything. It's small city. This is probably your focal point for the people here. You guys can start taking notes. The deck is sent out by Varun and Sanjay, so you don't have to rush. If you want to take pictures, really, there's no need to take pictures of me. You guys are the highlight of this presentation, not myself.
The pictures are not clear. How are we gonna get?
They're not clear? My picture's not clear?
No.
Hold on, how's the light?
I need to say, are we gonna get those?
Yes, they're gonna send it, if you ask them, they'll send it back to you.
Yeah.
I blurred this on purpose so you look at me. So this is located at 3215 Carding Mill Trail. It is the last piece of the Mattamy mega project that they built in Oakville. This is the last piece of Lego, is this little boutique condo. There's towns around you, there's semis, there's detached, all around you. It's Mattamy. They're the largest home builder in North America, the largest construction company in Canada, and they basically are the big boys on the block. And when they build big. This is a small little 157 story, suite condo in that project, right off of Dundas and 6th line. It is gonna be priced at $10.50 a square foot on average. Always, smaller units are more than the average, larger are less, okay? Don't get them mixed up, it'll cause problems for you. Parking is included for all suites. A lot of people are advertising lockers included. It's not. That's not finalized yet. So don't promise that. It's easy to add things, hard to take away, right? What does it say? This is gonna blow up in a week. Blow up. Whatever they give, they're gonna sell. I'm going to an event in a sling tomorrow. Hopefully I don't take painkillers, so I'm hoping I can make it. So tomorrow night, I should be getting the information by 8 o'clock. There's an email it us. My staff should have it out to everybody by 9. You can hit the ground running Thursday morning. Take today and tomorrow the day to talk to people and prep them for this. Your whole phone call, because it's a phone call you haven't probably made yet, should be telling them why they need to act fast. Okay? Now I know it's okay to lock in the unit, they back out, but please don't bring me people that back out on projects with us. Like, that's our sales pitch to people, but we should know if they're serious or not. I will not be able to accommodate everybody here because the units don't exist. So when it comes to these small ones in high demand, really, really get out of the gate first. Okay? Next slide. Allure. A good friend of mine, Cash Bashutin, he's the developer. This guy micromanages everything to its finest. He's got his hand in everything. Relatively new developer over the past 4 years. You sold some stuff at Arte, okay? They import their cranes from Italy because they are the best. They attach cameras so your buyers with a live feed can click the link and watch progress. That's how they build. They've won more awards in a short amount of time than any other developer across North America. This is their flagship, 43 stories of luxury and opulence. The building has its own Rolls Royce with a chauffeur that you can book to pick you up and drop you off from. That's
That's nice.
cool.
That is cool.
It is cool. You gotta call it like it is. It's also not as expensive as you'd think because it's comparable or at par, if not better, than other downtown properties. Cash isn't greedy. When I met Cash when he first got into developing, he had met me in small groups of people, in groups of 4, and we went to dinner. And he told me his business model. He comes from the investment side. He actually talks to the governor of the Bank of Canada because he manages billions of dollars in investment funds. He left that, got someone to run that business for him, and now runs this because this is his passion. He has a 20-year goal for his development business. He doesn't need to make a killing on every project because each one is tied into the next. Your clients, if they buy here, will get the most luxury we've seen for a price that is way below where it should be. It's at King East, in the area that's booming, time and space, etc. And we'll down there. Walking distance to St. Lawrence, 10-minute walk to the financial district. For those of us that spend time downtown, walking is faster than driving just for this building is fun. This is the one. For those that like the best, this is the one. This is a $2,200 a square foot building if it was on Yonge Street or closer to Yorkville. It's gonna be around $1,700 a square foot. Trust me, you guys got people with the money and they wanna buy something nice, this one will blow their socks off. Meet me at the sales center. There is not an inch of drywall in the lobby. It's all natural stone, all clad. There's a pond. They have an outdoor entertaining area that is better than most hotels I've ever been with. The designer's Bertie Philipp. He's tasked with doing the Four Seasons and the W's all over the world hotels. This starts on Thursday. Here's the location. Here's the walks. 100 walk score, 98 transit score, 100 bike score. It's right there. These are for my boys at Center Court. I golf with these guys, I'm friends with these guys, right? They're the first one to call me, see how I was doing when they found out my arm was hurt. Nobody sells out faster than Center Court. Nobody. I'm not joking when they tell me when my bedtime is. Okay? 50-story tower at the Kipling Transit Hub. TTC, My Way, Go, I don't know if it's still called the Uptown Express, but it's the thing that takes you to this airport. All there. 13,000 units will come to market there in the next 10 years. 13,000. Out of nothing, there's going to be Condo Central. Master plan communities have been shown to generate an 18 to 20% greater appreciation than standalone towers over the course of the first decade post-occupancy. You guys understand that? So buying a condo around other condos makes you more money than a condo building by itself. It's called synergy. It's not competition. This is the first. In this instance, I'd say keep it longer than 4 years. Nobody goes as fast as Center Court. They do not have an interim occupancy. Everything is done in-house. You get your keys, sell it, keep it, light it on fire, do whatever you want to it. It's yours. No interim occupancy. So people complain about interim occupancy, and I'm going to be paying the developer, and I'm not going to be paying down my mortgage. Again, they don't really understand the concept. Go with that. Don't educate them. Tell them, arm around, great, because I've got a project that doesn't have one. Okay? This is launching May 8th. 8th?
Yeah.
May 8th at 11 a.m., Massey Hall. I'm probably going to get units 2 days in. These are infamous for small allocations, 5, 4, 6 units, and then they fire units at me for the next 7 days at all times of the day. If you submit for this, submit early, a picture of a draft, and for the next 5 days, if mine or my assistant number comes up on your phone, you get off any other line, you stop any conversation, and you answer it. I'm given, and I'm one of their favorites, 10 to 15 minutes to place units, or someone else takes it. But if you guys can match the criteria, we'll keep firing units off all 7 days. You have to explain to your clients, I may call you at midnight, but it will be worth it. No one's ever lost money on a Center Court project in the first round. People are about to lose their shirts at one of their projects that bought in the last round because they bought too expensive, but never in the first round, ever. Ever, ever. It's a license to print money if you get a unit out the first round. I'm telling you, it's a license to print money. Don't be scared to say that. I back my shit up with facts and precedent. You'll make your clients money here. You have people you like, call me up and I'll tell you where to put their money and they're not gonna lose. Especially for yourself. Next one. Flex. This is in Waterloo. Boutique condo by Domus. Domus is like the Center Court of Kitchener-Waterloo. Okay? We've never heard of them, but they build out there. And they build a lot, they're on time, they're great guys. Boutique building, again, 3 minutes to University of Waterloo, 4 minutes to Laurier, 4 minutes to Conestoga, 2 minutes to the Waterloo Technology Park where Google is coming in, all those places. See my point? Right in the mix. May 9th. I have to go to all these things, by the way. My calendar's like, yeah. This is showing where it's all located. Again, here, close to universities, here's Flex. All this is within 4 minutes. That's about as close as you can get to student housing on site, on campus, right? Lake Point. We've been waiting for some good Durham product, and I wasn't a big fan of Universal City, so I have a monster coming in the summer to Durham. But now we're going to talk about when people go to Durham, they don't usually want to live in skyscrapers. They want boutique, smaller buildings. This is walking distance to the lake in Ajax, a boutique tower, 8 stories, 172 units, 5 minutes 401, close to the 412, 17 minutes to the 407 and 7, okay? Regional transits in the area as well. This is exactly what you think of when you think Durham. And it's going to do really well. This is May 11th. I do not have pricing yet. We're trying to figure that out. I've been waiting and bugging and doing. But we have a lineup for Durham. I don't know if you guys are strictly West End, but Durham has been very underserviced for condos for many years, and anything that comes out there does really well. We had 4 launches last year delayed because of the drop in the market. This was the first one coming to market, coming hot. This is showing you where it is. Right there, the lake, great parkland. And it's kind of why you buy a condo out there, right? To be able to walk around. Kind of the opposite of the dynamics why you invest in the city. Corktown. This was just added. This is coming to Hamilton. I'm really anxiously anticipating to see what kind of price point this comes out at. Hamilton took a big of a hit. Usually the sub-markets take a hit first when it comes to fluctuations in market. This will be coming out on the 17th. It's great location. It's typical Hamilton, surrounded by low rise. There'll be a lot of spectacular views. Hamilton has many developments in the application process, but not enough to say you're gonna be blocked on any side. So for those people that are looking to either downsize to Hamilton, buy an investment condo in Hamilton, Hamilton is a much better investment than you would think at first glance. Hamilton is booming, even though you wouldn't notice if you went there, okay? But because it's booming, there's a lot of people that wanna live in nice places, but there aren't any. There's very, very limited new product to rent. And Hamilton 2-bedrooms rent very close to Mississauga 2-bedrooms, but the price is a lot. The 900. My staff added more projects than I thought for this presentation. This is a little bit long. This is coming out in June. I did not want to come out in June. I didn't want to talk about June, but I'll talk about this coming on board. This is East Mall in Eglinton, near the 401 and 427. This is 900 units, 3 towers. This project will even have daycare. Thinking ahead, okay? This will be around the same price as Kipling Station condos. So if your clients are not ready for that and they're price point conscious, both will be around the 1,200 mark, which you cannot beat in the city, okay? I'm not gonna talk much about this. We'll talk about this one on a later date. This is a summary of what we have up and coming. Ignore it because we're not going into June. That's 8 projects for you to focus on. Now, focusing on 8 projects is shooting yourself in the foot. It's like spitting in the wind. Your clients, if you pitch 8 projects to them, they won't know what to choose. Pick 2, A and B. Pitch A and B to your clients. Vastly different is A from B. Neither are better, neither are worse. They are different. Which one works for you? Or you pick one for your clients. Start calling people.
How you structure your speech?
My
I mean,
speech?
Yes.
In any type of sales, the focus is engaging the person and having them to start interacting with you. If I call you up, I ask you questions about yourself. Me as a salesperson, my day is meaningless. How is your day? That way I gauge, should I initiate this or not today? Pass that hurdle. Then the best thing to do is to find a segue to see if they're financially capable of making an investment. Someone just lost their job and just got taken to the cleaners by his wife in court for divorce, right? Or vice versa. It's not that time to make an investment. It actually is, but it's hard to change their mindset and understand that, right? And then you start asking questions to find out what type of investment. Find out, have they bought any real estate since the last time you spoke to them? There is nothing wrong with you having the intention to buy a condo in this project that you're pitching. Because what I said is, you should never sell something that you wouldn't buy. So you're not really lying and you're not misleading. You should believe in these projects. You have 8 to choose from. I guarantee you believe in at least one. Because I believe in all 8 for different reasons. And then start talking about it. Your energy level and your confidence will dictate how your client feels about a project. If you've made this person money in the past, it's very easy. If you haven't, it's a little bit more difficult. If you think that they're insecure of your abilities, introduce your brand new partner. Talk about them. Okay? The greatest hurdle you will face to overcome is that people will think you're inexperienced in this new field. I am not. I don't mind helping you guys. Communicate with my staff. I pay them. That's their job. The one girl that I have answering the phones loves to talk more than me. And as long as we have the time, we will set up a conference call or a Zoom. I will assist. There may be a small additional fee for this because time is money. But if you make nothing, that's nothing.
Question.
Hi.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see you were hiding.
I was a little late, so I don't know if you mentioned where we can make the material and the rendering, if possible.
It is possible.
Okay, where?
Without the material or the renderings, you wouldn't be able to do anything.
Exactly.
No, you will get it from Sanjay and Varun.
Oh.
They will share the deck,
Oh.
okay? It doesn't have my audio, but it has the visual. And then if you need anything, just reach out to the boys and they'll get in contact with me. They can have Ashley's number, okay? This is a partnership, remember that. When I work with people, I take it as a partnership. There's varying forms of commission splits, depending on how much work you need, but these guys know what they're doing. They do. So they're here to help you too. You're all part of their team, okay? Between all of this, we can assist everybody. The key is to get you guys selling units, okay? Making deals. So whatever you guys need, don't be scared to ask. Yes?
There were some recent changes with the capital gain tax on these condos.
Overall, there were changes across the board. You have to keep them for 1 year.
Okay, it's the same thing for condos as for the residential?
Yeah, it's a blanket that covers everything. It was an umbrella policy change, so it covers everything, right? So I always said you never sell your condo in the first year after occupancy. I always said that. Because that first year, you're gonna compete with desperate people who've had life changes, can't afford it. You never compete with desperate people. They will always sell for less than you. Because they have nothing to lose and you're trying to gain, right? So it shouldn't affect your buyers because they should always keep it for the first year. You keep it 0 to 1 and you sell between 1 and 5.
And the first year starts from when?
Occupancy.
Occupancy.
That's for you when you keep it. But now with the government rules, it actually starts at registration. So our government, in its infinite ignorance, that doesn't understand things and tries to legislate them, didn't take into account that there's an occupancy period. So it restarts at registration. So if your occupancy takes 6 months, with pre-construction, it's 1.5 years of ownership. Technically 1 year because you don't own it until registration, but we know when you get your keys, you feel like you own it, right? Okay. Anything else, guys?
I got one thing to say, guys. This guy is amazing, the way he talks. One thing that I want you, besides all the stuff that he's teaching, because I got to run, but I wanted to say this one thing. When it comes to sales, right, you need to watch people that are really good at what they do. One of the things that I like to do is train you guys. And I just want you to watch the way he carries himself with confidence. That happens with experience, okay? But if you bring confidence in the way you talk to people, he really doesn't give a shit of what you think about him. Do you notice that? And he really doesn't care about what you have to say about him. But when he delivers his message, he does it slow, he does it with a method, and that makes you want to buy with him. Does it not? I'll buy with him. Where do I sign? Okay, so I want you guys, as you guys are doing this, I want you guys to pick up on that. Pick up on the way really good people in this, you guys all want to be amazing realtors, and I want to help you. Pick up on the confidence, okay? Practice. He could probably wake up in the morning and just do 10 of these without, but there was a time he probably practiced. So if you guys are gonna, the couple of pitches that he told you to say, practice it. Practice in front of the mirror. Practice it while you're driving, while you're talking to people. Call your friend. Do a role play. Everything in life is practice until you don't have to, okay? I'm gonna call you, when's your surgery?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? I'm gonna call you, we gotta chat about a lot of things, but you're amazing, man.
Thank you, brother.
Sorry you
Nice to
gotta
see you.
run, thank you for putting together. Dude, wow.
Very good. Can I just add to that too? I just wanted to say, yeah, everything is amazing, and I think that you all have such a great database of clients that you should be contacting and talking to. But be smart with your calls. When you call them, put it in something. I know you guys hate when I talk about KV Core, but you don't have to use KV Core. Use whatever you want to use, but use.
It has to be documented.
Exactly.
It has to.
Because every time you make a phone call, you need to know, what he was saying, where are you in life? Did you just lose your job? Are you going through a separation? Where are you? You need to write that, because if you call 100 people a day, you're not going to remember person 55, which unit they would want. And in KV Core, we can also create templates, email templates for pre-construction, okay? Where you literally can go straight to the worksheet, go straight to all the renderings, whatever, everything. We can show you how to do that. So every time he has a new project, there's 8 projects. all of these 8 projects, we're gonna put them in order into KV Court, so it makes it easy for you guys, okay? But I kind of agree, and I feel like you shouldn't really pitch all 8.
Max,
Wrong.
2.
2. So we'll put all 8 in there, but you be smart as to which one you send them. We'll put 8 templates together. You know what I mean? So we need to get that ASAP, and then I'll come back and we'll do a proper meeting. I'll show you guys how to do it. But in the meantime, just pick up the phone. Let's just start calling people. And you know, the best line, and everyone uses this, and especially during COVID, I use this all the time. That's how we got to 100 agents at EXP, was like, hey, I was just thinking about you. How are you doing?
100%.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I saw your name come up
Yeah.
when I was gonna call somebody else, and I'm like, I haven't talked to this person. I told you I hadn't talked to you in a decade.
Yeah, how are you?
And then
That's-
remember, initiate
Yeah.
the conversation. Find out what's going in their life. What's going on in their life is paramount. What's going on in yours is secondary. Talk about them. People like to talk about themselves. Get them comfortable, get them talking to you, get them engaging. Then throw, oh, I just started doing this new thing, Cricut Circuit, it's crazy. The guy I'm working for is amazing, I'm gonna buy one. No one on the planet will not ask you, what are you gonna buy? Everyone will ask you, whoa, you're gonna buy something, what are you buying? Because you're a realtor.
Yeah.
Then tell them about the project. Tell them why you're buying it.
And edify. Yeah. Because they might think, well, you've only been in real estate for like 3 months. Like, what do you know about pre-con or whatever? It's not about, you're partnered up with someone who's experienced.
And
who
I'm giving
does-
you the advice.
Yeah, and who's done 5,000 units in a year, was it? You did?
No,
Or-
like over the course, we've placed over 1,000 people in the past 5 years.
Okay, so like, you know, edify proper, right? So that way you know, and you just say, look, are they allowed to come and meet with you at the, like,
If someone's potentially buying, we'll meet at the sales center if there's a sales center. If there's no sales center, we'll do a Zoom. I'll help you guys sell.
okay,
Because I know that I'm making an investment in you. Because once you start closing these, and you can do multiple in an evening as opposed to one client looking at showings, you'll quickly shift. And your resale will give you money now until your pre-con starts coming in. And then I guarantee you'll hardly do any resale. You won't need to. This is an economy of scale. You can do much more deals in pre-con than you can in resale. So you gravitate where you can make money, more money, easier. So that's why I'm investing my time in you. My staff and I will help you guys. These guys will help you guys. You guys have help. You're not alone. You're a team.
yeah.
Yes.
So what do you recommend pitching to people who are on work permit right now and they want to be on permanent resident after that?
The people on work permits, they just changed the foreign buyer ban to include people, I think it's 160 days or something like that and more.
183.
183, yeah. We have a lady from Trinidad that we're getting a condo in Calgary. I also sell a Calgary product too. I'm just getting into that. I would pitch them to buy something, 100%.
So how does the deposit structure look like for them?
They're a resident because they're here.
Okay.
Technically for deposit, they're here, but for citizenship, they're not. So the government makes no sense. That's what I'm saying.
So as far as the builder is concerned, they don't care.
Do they have a driver's license here? Do they have an address here? They're here. Anybody else? Okay, guys, I am behind schedule. It was the greatest pleasure to get a chance to speak to you. One last one.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, only because you said no.
Because I'm really like concerned about this one, the anti-flip tax. What is this on assignment only or?
No.
What's happening?
Okay, so what happened was, before, if you sold a property within 1 year of ownership,
Yeah.
the CRA may come after you and say, prove that it wasn't a flip. Okay? Now, there's no more proving. If you sell it with less than 1 year of ownership, it is automatically a flip. It's no longer capital gain, and it's considered business income or personal income. Okay? It'll be treated like business income. Okay? Like you working. And that's what's happening. Because of my business model, it says don't sell during that year anyways, it shouldn't affect any of our clients.
But that's not talking about the HST, you have to pay the HST on that?
HST is paid for all properties, okay,
Yeah.
that you're not owner occupying. It's $24,000 regardless of the purchase price in Toronto, Ontario, okay?
But if you sell it within a year, you have to pay that.
If you rent it out, you will apply and get the money back plus interest. If you sell it within a year, you void that and have to repay it.
And assignments are excluded from this, right?
Assignments are a disaster. The government is the only one that makes money on them. They get double, triple taxed.
You need to have a discussion with your accountant on this. There are ways.
100%.
Making a corporation, parking your money there, paying only 12% tax. I'm not an expert. I'm not going to say further on this. Your accountant. You need to sit with them. Your client's accountant. Making a corporation is very easy, but there are certain nitty-gritties which you cannot suggest as a realtor. But we can do a lot more.
If anybody asks those questions, you're gonna tell them to talk to your accountant. Even better, like you partner up with a real estate lawyer, partner up with an accountant that understands this and refer them. But partner up with an accountant that's gonna say what he should say and not something he shouldn't. Remember,
And just
everybody,
to add,
sorry, go ahead.
just to add to that, like we all have access to legal labs. Samit Singh, I put his name in our group chat. You are welcome to use his services for free. He said, use my services. Come, you have a contract, APS, you want me to look at it, you want me to look at a status certificate, you want me to look at anything. He does it for free. So use him. Do you know what I mean? Like use him. Shannon is a paralegal. Shannon right here. She's in our group as well. Like you can use her for anything you want. She's willing to help. So like we have the resources, guys. Just call them, use them. You know what I mean? Just ask if you're not sure about something. Because Samit also does corporations, remember? We have that group rate for whoever wants to get themselves